Welcome, acolytes. Today we're watching. I'm finally going to draw against Billy Mitchell from Karl Jobst. I am baffled and happy that this actually finally goes on. Because Billy Mitchell is, in my opinion, a very, very, very bad person. And I dislike him greatly. And that he actually gets the thing that comes to him, that's fine. I am for it. That's beautiful. But let's start in a second, because by the way, if you like my content, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, press the notification button. Karl Jobst, please show me and him some love. And join my Discord. I'm gonna link it down there. Do it. Just do it. You know you wanna do it, so do it.
Of Donkey Kong has exploded with controversy over a high score, making it all the way to a Queensland courtroom. An American video game champion is suing a Brisbane YouTuber over cheating claims.
Hello, you absolute legends. As many of you know, back in 2021, Con Artist of the Century Billy Mitchell sued me for defamation, claiming damages of almost $500,000. For almost 3 years, this ridiculous lawsuit has dragged on, and for the past year, I've been desperately trying to get a trial date as soon as possible.
Yep. And by the way, I want to point out 3 years for someone who's clearly full of bad. 3 effing years. That's insane.
The sooner we can go to trial, the sooner this will all be over and we can all move on. But every step of the way, Billy has been doing everything in his power to delay trial as much as possible. You would think it would be the opposite way. Billy is the plaintiff. He's the one that's supposed to be desperate for the court to step in and give him a resolution. But no, he's the one always running away. In fact, he got so bad that even Australian news outlets were reporting on the fact that Billy was saying he couldn't attend trial when we were asking him to. However, thankfully, a trial date has recently been set by the judge. As it stands, Billy and I will be going to trial starting September 16, and the trial is scheduled for 6 days. This is only 4 months away, and personally, I cannot wait. This has already gone on far too long, and is a huge waste of everyone's time and money, but it does look like we will get a resolution pretty soon, which is great news. Now, when I announced this on Twitter, a lot of people had questions. Is it possible that me and Billy will settle before trial? Billy settled with Twin Galaxies earlier this year, and everyone—
Yes, sadly. I do not even— Why would— Yeah, they didn't want to invest any more money in it. That's the reason why, but come on, busting such a gigantic scam artist is something good. You have the money, probably. I don't know the inner secrets, but it was so disappointing.
Hated that. Is it possible I might do the same? Everyone wants to see Billy lose, but is he going to just wriggle his way out once again? What will happen if Billy loses? Will there be any repercussions? What happens if he wins? In this video, I will answer these questions. Plus, we will take a quick look at a few of the things we will be arguing about in court. And some of the things Billy is trying to claim are insane. For example, and I swear to God this is real, Billy is trying to claim that he was never banned from Twin Galaxies for cheating. Yes, the guy who was banned from Twin Galaxies for cheating and sued Twin Galaxies for $10 million because they banned him for cheating is claiming in his lawsuit against me that he was never banned from Twin Galaxies for cheating. The lies never stop, and this is why trial is going to be so exciting. All of this will go before the judge, and it will be epic. Or, as I asked before, will Billy be able to weasel his way out? Let's find out. I really hope you enjoy. Now, legends, we are all huge Billy Mitchell fans here, and I know most of you are wondering, how on earth does Billy maintain such beautiful hair and skin? Well, I don't know Billy's secret for sure, so—
And by the way, I am watching this because a lot of people and YouTubers told it's actually a good thing if you watch it because it helps the creator. It makes sense, so I'm gonna watch it also. But I'm gonna comment in the between and be a little dickhead about it. Just a bit.
so I can only assume it's because he's using today's video sponsor, Geology. Geology is the
Nice.
bee's knees when it comes to looking and smelling your absolute
Oh,
best. Personally,
smelling
my
like
skin
all
is
those
super oily, so
unwashed
I need to use
peasants.
Geology's everyday face wash or my face
Way
looks and
better.
feels gross. Plus, I use their nourishing eye cream because I have massive black eyes from not getting enough sleep. But if you have problems
doesn't?
with dry skin or acne, Geology is perfect for that too.
Damn.
Plus, they have a whole
Don't
range
say.
of products including body washes, deodorants, and hair shampoos and conditioners, and they all smell incredible. The process
not
is
say
super
it's
simple.
incredible.
Just take the 30-second quiz and Geology
No.
will send a personalized routine
No.
right to your door. And right now, you can get 100% off your first order. Yes, that is a free trial of their award-winning skincare routine.
Oh, no.
All you need to
Really?
pay is the $4.95 shipping. Plus, they will give you an additional 50% off an extra product of your
Whoa.
choice. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen and use code KarlJobst100. This is an amazing offer, so don't miss
Woohoo.
out. When Billy Mitchell settled with Twin Galaxies back in January, the entire world wept. What we all want more than anything is for Billy to have his ass handed to him in court. We want to see a real, bona fide loss. Honestly, at this point, Billy's lawsuit against me is the world's last chance to see this epic defeat happen. If Billy loses to me, it will be devastating for multiple reasons, which I will get into shortly. So this
Yeah.
is really important that it does go to trial. And
By the way, yes, if he loses, it's a certificate, on a certificate that he actually lied, and he would lose everything that the firms that actually work with him wouldn't work with him, and he would lose a lot of money, and the people that actually right now work with him entirely, like his, I don't know, fans, people that actually do stuff for him for free or something like that would actually stop. So that would be good, very good, and extremely funny.
And I do my very best to serve Billy the loss he so desperately deserves. But he has settled before, and not just with Twin Galaxies, with the YouTuber Apollo Legend as well. And both times the public was very upset. Is there any chance the same might happen with me? The answer is almost certainly no. There is a big difference between Billy's lawsuits in America and his lawsuit against me, which is in Australia. In America, even if you win as the defendant, there is no guarantee you'll get any of the court costs back. You
That's
might have
true,
to
yeah.
spend hundreds of thousands of dollars defending.
And by the way, it's not different in Germany. You actually have to specifically write it in that you want your court costs back for some effing reason. Who wouldn't? Is that really a question? Who wouldn't want their court costs back? That's insane to me. That's like, for me, it's, of course I want my money back after somebody tried to scam me. Are you kidding me?
Yourself, and when you win, you get absolutely nothing. This is why in America, settling is a very tempting resolution, and this is why Twin Galaxies decided to settle. It was just a lot cheaper. In Australia, things are different. Here, almost always, the loser is ordered to pay the court costs of the winner. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to win, so from my perspective, it seems silly to settle because I believe I will be successful, and I believe that Billy will be ordered to pay back most of my costs. It's not 100% of my costs, however. The judge can award standard costs or indemnity costs. Standard cost is more common, and usually the winning party would get back around 60 to 70% of their costs. But in some circumstances,
I mean, fair enough. It's, at least you'll get it automatically. So that's a positive.
the judge can award indemnity costs, which would be up to 95% of costs incurred. If I do win, I think indemnity costs are more likely for reasons which I won't go over in this video. But in any case, the most important thing to realize is that this lawsuit, including trial, will have cost.
And by the way, I still think that's unfair. If you win, you should get 100% of your costs back. Always.
Me around $500,000. This means if Billy loses, he will almost certainly be required to pay me hundreds of thousands of dollars to cover my expenses. This is obviously a big deal, and I would be stupid to accept any settlement that didn't also include the payment of all of my costs, given that I think the judge will award them to me at trial. So the chances of me and Billy settling before trial are extremely low, and I don't
Good.
foresee any circumstance in which that happens. Billy can't just drop the lawsuit either. If he does try to run away before trial or simply avoids it, he will lose by default, and will still need to compensate me for my expenses. This lawsuit will go to trial, and the only way for Billy to avoid it is to simply lose before that even happens. If I were Billy, I would be shitting myself because if he loses, he will lose big. And right now, things aren't looking good. In saying that, nothing is certain in the legal system, and there is also a non-zero chance that somehow Billy wins. If that happens, I would need to pay back some of his costs, though it would almost certainly be on the standard costs basis. I don't know what Billy has spent so far, but based on the poor quality of work by his lawyers, it's probably less than half of what I've spent on mine. And while my loss seems unlikely, I would be an idiot if I didn't prepare for it. I've been privileged enough to have a lot of financial help from members of the public and people like Notch who have donated a tremendous amount of money, but this only covers my own legal expenses. It doesn't cover any of the damages I would have to pay or any of the legal costs Billy has incurred. This might end up being hundreds of thousands of dollars on top of what I've already spent. Again, it's extremely unlikely, but I've done the best I could to earn enough money to survive the worst case scenario. And I'm happy to say that if the worst case scenario does eventuate, me and my family will survive. The lawsuit has taken an extreme mental toll on me, and it's affected this channel as well. I'm not free to just make the videos I want to make. Whenever I make a video, I have to consider the lawsuit, and if the video will be popular enough to cover my expenses. And the lawsuit takes up so much of my mental energy and attention, it's hard to think about anything else. That's one of...
Yeah, that's true. It's not... It can't be easy. It's still mentally, like, doing something to prove a point, because it's purely of proving a point, as it is right now. And sadly, yes, it just is. But in the end of the day, if this actually works, that would be so good for everyone. Just basically everyone.
The reasons I make so many Billy Mitchell videos. I spend so much time researching Billy for the sake of my own defense that it's hard to work on other projects. I do the best I can, but a lot of the time I just try to kill two birds with one stone and take what I've learned about Billy to make videos and use that to fund my legal expenses and prepare for the worst. Now, let's take a look at some of the things I will be arguing.
By the way, good approach. That's also the only thing you actually can do, so, you know. Better than nothing, I mean. It's still like this much stress for this is...
being at trial. Obviously, I'm not going to cover everything here, and don't worry, I'm not going to spill any secrets or give away any strategies. Everything I mention here will be public information and already known to both parties. There are multiple ways to defend a defamation claim in Australia that go beyond just proving what you said was true or that it wasn't defamatory. One of them is to say that Billy didn't have a good reputation to begin with, so it's not possible that it caused him any damage. Before I published the video in question, it was already well established that Billy was a cheater. He had already been sued for fraud by Twin Galaxies, and I had already covered all of this in previous videos. Billy himself has already proven that his reputation was destroyed long before I ever talked about him, and he proved this by suing Twin Galaxies for $11 million in 2 states. He sued Apollo Legend for $1 million, and he sued Jeremy Young, Jeff Harris, and the Donkey Kong Forum for $3 million. In all of those lawsuits, he claims that his reputation was destroyed by their statements. He can't have his cake and eat it too. He can't say that Twin Galaxies destroyed his career in his lawsuit in America and then come over to Australia and say that his reputation was amazing and I destroyed it once again. That doesn't make any sense, but that's exactly what Billy is doing. If I can establish that Billy had a bad reputation to begin with, it doesn't matter if I can or can't prove any of my claims against him, because you can't damage what is already completely destroyed. But in saying that, there is a lot I can prove, and I will attempt to do so at trial. I will prove that Billy was publicly exposed for cheating and that he was banned by Twin Galaxies because of his cheating. Everyone will hear this claim and think there is no possible way Billy would try to deny this, because it's an obvious fact. Well, believe it or not, he is denying this. Billy is claiming that he was never...
Who would have thought? Someone who lies his entire effing life denies. Who would have even thought of the possibility of something like that happening? Incredible.
never publicly exposed for cheating and that he wasn't banned by Twin Galaxies. What's hilarious about this is that Billy argues in his own court documents from his American lawsuits that Twin Galaxies banned him for cheating and it caused him to get roasted publicly. I mean, it's literally the reason for his lawsuits against them. So he argues one thing in America and then argues the complete opposite in Australia. I don't know why he thinks this is a good idea, because I'm just going to use his own filings to show that he is a deceptive liar who's trying to play both sides. I'm also going to argue that he expressed joy at...
You know why he tries it? Because it could work. It's that simple.
The thought of the YouTuber Apollo legend's death. This is obviously a terrible thing, and not only did he imply he was going to smile and giggle if Apollo legend died, but he also said that he hoped it was true. This was in 2018, which was 2 years before Apollo legend actually died. At this time, Billy had only heard that he had died from his wife, and he was gleefully texting about it to his friends. Billy's defense to this is that Apollo legend didn't die until 2020, so Billy only thought Apollo legend had died, which makes his text okay. Yes, this really is Billy's defense. I'm also going to show that Billy abuses the legal system to try and silence people and force them to recognize his scores. For example, when he threatened Guinness World Records with a lawsuit if they didn't reinstate his scores, and they ended up folding. You may be asking why any of this is relevant, and it's because it all damages his reputation. It doesn't matter if he can show that I was incorrect on one thing. Even if he were to prove that I was wrong about a specific claim, there are many other claims that were true and also damaged his reputation. So as a whole, any incorrect claim I may have made didn't cause any extra damage. There are multiple barriers that Billy has to get through in order to be successful. He has to show that something that I said wasn't true and that it was defamatory. He then needs to prove that his reputation was damaged by that specific claim and has to prove those damages. From my side, I'm going to argue that what I said wasn't defamatory, that Billy's reputation was already terrible, and that I've said so many damaging things about him that were true and that I can prove that even if he did show that one thing I said was wrong, it didn't make a difference. And there are other very important things on top of this that I won't discuss until after trial happens. But I assure you that I will break it all down in more detail once it's over. One thing people have also asked is what happens if Billy loses and decides not to pay my costs? He is in America after all, and this would be an Australian judgment. Well, thankfully, the state of Florida where Billy lives does recognize foreign judgments, so we would be able to go after him through the Florida court system. It's a bit more work for us, but the important takeaway is that he won't be able to escape. And besides, if Billy did try to run and avoid paying, that's going to stick with him forever. First, his whole persona as a successful businessman would be destroyed, because we would all know he actually has no money. And secondly, I would never ever let the world forget what he did. The world needs Billy to lose. Not only would Billy need to pay me a lot of money if he loses, but we will also have an official ruling by a judge on a lot of these issues. This is because this particular trial will be decided by a judge and not a jury. So a judge is going to examine all of the evidence, and a judge will give his ruling and opinion on all of these issues. So if a judge rules that Billy was exposed for cheating, this opinion will be cemented in writing and will carry a lot of weight. If Billy loses this lawsuit, the judge's opinion is going to be very damaging for him, and that's another reason why I think it was very stupid for Billy to have started these proceedings. This is probably my last update on my own lawsuit until the trial. The next few months are obviously going to be very stressful for me and my family, so I'm probably going to work a bit less and will try to relax and distract myself as much as possible. I would love any and all support until then. You can support me by clicking on my videos when you see them, by leaving a comment, by not skipping my sponsors, and...
Okay, good. This is... harsh. Again, harsh. But yeah, I mean, he has a fight to fight right now. He's on a roll. And he's rolling. And I hope that this rolling will go his way. But damn, this is harsh. This is really, really, really harsh. Damn. But as it is, acolytes, good night.